What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Nextbase, the world's leading dash cam brand. It's now available in the U.S. Get video evidence of bad drivers and parking lot perpetrators to protect your ride, plus life-saving emergency features to protect you and your family. Nextbase gives you peace of mind while you drive. The brand new Series 2 range includes 5 dash cam models packed with exciting features to meet any driver's budget. Enjoy stunning image quality with 1440p resolution and an IPS touchscreen. Intelligent parking mode detects and automatically records any movement around your vehicle while parked, so you no longer have to worry about parking lot hit and runs. The potentially life-saving emergency SOS feature included on models 322 and up will automatically alert emergency services to your vehicle's exact location if a collision is detected and the driver is unresponsive. The auto sync feature included in models 322 and up uses Bluetooth and Wi-Fi technology to automatically send video files to your smartphone through the My Nextbase Connect app. You can zoom in on number plates in detail, edit and share files over Wi-Fi, and if you experience a collision, the video will automatically be sent to your phone. The full Nextbase Series 2 range is available at Best Buy stores nationwide in the US and Canada, online at Best Buy and Amazon.com. Listeners of the Smoking Tire get 15% off the Nextbase 322 GW with GPS, Wi-Fi, emergency, SOS, intelligent parking mode, and more. Use code 15NEXTBASE-ST to purchase on Amazon. Ready for this code again? 15 Nextbase ST. That's 15 Nextbase ST when you buy it on Amazon. How about Race Chip? You know, today's modern turbocharged and supercharged engines leave a lot of performance on the table. Race Chip offers plug-and-play performance upgrades for factory, turbocharged, or supercharged cars. There's a healthy increase in power and torque available, up to 30%. Plus, you get better fuel economy. You have easy plug-and-play installation in just 15 minutes. All the engine protection mechanisms are active because it doesn't modify the ECU itself. It's easy to remove, and after the removal, the car goes back completely to stock condition. And it's tested and approved by TÜV. That's the German testing authority. They're much stricter than we are here in the U.S. You got up to a 5-year warranty and a 30-day money-back guarantee. And you can give them a follow on Instagram on Race Chip Tuning. They say chip twice in the middle of that. Race Chip Tuning. Hit them up on YouTube and Facebook as well for daily content, dyno runs, and car testing. If you want to increase the power of your car in a healthy way, choose Race Chip for quality made in Germany. Go to racechip.us. That's RACECHIP.us. In July, Race Chip has a special offer for listeners of the Smoking Tire. Use code SMOKINGTIRE to get 10% off your order, limited to 1 Race Chip per customer, and only during the month of July. That's racechip.us, simply faster. Lastly, we got to remind you guys about that Brio Beardscape Life. I just used mine this morning, actually, and I am feeling beautifully smooth because I pre-buzz. I shave my head with a proper, shaving cream and razor, but I pre-buzz when it gets scruffy, and I use the Brio to cut through that Syrian fuzz. I've been through so many different buzzers. I went through every one that you could buy at a Target, and then I went to the ones you have to buy at the beauty supply store, and then I got this crazy one that only old Italian barbers use, and it weighs 300 pounds, and it's made of steel, and I liked that one, but it was very heavy, not very portable. Now the Brio offers that kind of performance, but it's portable. The battery lasts a long time, so I know I'm not going to find myself in Houston with a dead battery. I only charge it literally once a year. The blade's made of ceramic rather than steel, so it stays sharp for a long time, but also requires less lubricant. You don't have to oil it as often. It's very easy to clean. Comes in a travel pouch. It is the jam. I honestly, I really like the Brio Beardscape. It's really, really nice. Go to brio4life.com, BRIO, the number 4, life.com. Upgrade yourself to the Beardscape. I got the best price on the internet with code SMOKING at brio4life.com. Code SMOKING. All right, on this show, Elana Scherr is in the building. We preloaded a lot of podcasts last week. This was recorded during the Corvette reveal. I think it was right before the actual reveal of the Corvette. Someone leaked it on Twitter during our podcast, which is why I'm smart and stay home and podcast rather than going to the stupid Corvette reveal. And so we got to talk about it a bit. That was very nice. We had pictures to show, etc. Plus, it's Elana. She was in England driving muscle cars. She always has the best stories. She's one of our favorite people. Elana Scherr on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
What the fuck is up, folks? It's the Smoking Tire Podcast on... Shit, what day is it? It's Wednesday, isn't it? No. It's definitely Thursday.
It's totally Thursday.
It's totally Thursday. Elana Scherr. Hi. Oh, dude, I just looked at your dress right now and I realized I'm like in the Tour de France looking at your dress.
Yeah, it's all bicycles.
It's like, furthermore, it's like the asses of riders in front of you.
So many asses.
Hannah would fucking love that dress. That's what's up.
I'll send you the link.
For those of you watching our feed, you might notice I'm in the producer chair in Studio A today. I had to like reconfigure our cameras a little bit. I disassembled Studio B. I wanted a desktop computer in my house. When you write a lot, like you don't want to write like on a laptop. It's a real hunched over and all that stuff and video editing. So I wanted to like sit up.
I did notice that you look especially tall and well-postured.
My posture
really
is
good.
Fire right now. Give Elana some love on the gram. That's challenge her.
Come join me there.
Challenge her. And there's old cars and dogs and a link to her writing and many other things. Follow me on the gram. You know where, because you're here. Did you see this ridiculously clean Cadillac I saw today on the highway?
I sure did. I felt like it was a good omen for this show.
You've never seen someone as excited as me driving and seeing with the Continental spare
beautiful.
tire kit. Is that a Sedan DeVille? Or is that I think it's a Sedan DeVille. Yeah. It might be a Brougham, as it were.
Zoom in and see. The nice thing about Cadillac is they usually say it huge in like a really elegant script somewhere. All over the car.
Yeah. But you know what? I just saw went to Cars and Coffee and I was thinking of it. Remember when various luxury brands back in the day used to like... Wait, I don't know who it was worse for.
You were so hyper.
Which partner? Because you know why? It's this cold brew. You know why? What brand was worse in this deal? The Cartier Lincoln Town Car. Who was that? I think that's more embarrassing for Cartier than for Lincoln. That's a come up for Lincoln. For Cartier, that's a reach down.
All of the fashion brand and watch brand plus car things are very strange.
Most of them are hard. Can you name one that's good?
I mean, define good.
Holds up now 10 to 20 years later.
Give me a couple months. I'll work on it.
Like, I'll admit that in period, like in the 90s, Eddie Bauer killed it. The Eddie Bauer Explorers, killed it.
The Eddie Bauer also did. Did
they do trucks? Expeditions? I think. Excursions?
What's the OJ Chase?
Broncos.
Yes.
Oh, the Eddie Bauer
and
Broncos.
And the Bronco totally holds up. I saw one recently.
Those were cool. Well, all Broncos hold up, right?
So I want everyone to know this because I'm dumber than usual and I am super jet lagged.
Where were you?
I was in England until 24 hours ago.
Really?
So.
Oh, we'll give you a pass.
Yeah, thanks. I need it. I'm going to pretend that I'm only dumb because of that, but I'm
That's
really
okay.
dumb.
We're all jet lagged from time to time. Oh, this Eddie Bauer Bronco
it's good.
Is glorious.
And the interior is rad too. It has like little trees across the back seat.
Trees?
Yeah,
it does?
It does. Try and find an interior pic.
Give me a second. I'll find one. Yo, this cold brew. My brain is going rocket fuel right now. Oh, it does. Look at the trees.
I know. Aren't they cute?
Oh, that's great.
They're like
Wait,
little
load
fluffy
photo.
velour trees.
Yeah. So I made this beverage. Look at these. Look at these fucking seats, dude. These seats are amazing. Let me just zoom out and really get the love going here. And that's got to be the most thigh bolstering that Ford has put on any vehicle in the entire history
the
up
thigh
until the Focus
bolstering
RS.
actually goes all the way up the side of your back.
Yeah, it's like bolstering for that area in between your spine and your shoulder blades. So let me tell you about this cold brew real quick, because it'll really provide a lot of context for where my head's at right now.
Clearly.
I went to meet with somebody that I thought might make a good coffee sponsor, and they invited me to come down. And they showed me this thing that they do that was so fucking cool. Where's the picture? So they're called Moon Goat. I'll plug them. I liked them a lot. They were very nice people, and they were very smart. And they use this shit called dried coffee cherries.
Is that like the whole, like the thing
The
that
fruit.
the bean is
it's
around?
It's the rest of it. It's the rest of it that we don't use. And you can't really eat it. I mean, you can, but it's like not a great thing to eat. So what they do is they dry the... that's it, dried out. And then what they showed me how to do was turn it into a simple syrup. So I boiled it in sugar water and made it into this simple syrup that's like delicious. And then what you do is you pull a shot of espresso on the AeroPress or get cold brew. Mix it with seltzer water, or if you're like super bold, you can actually run the cold brew in your soda stream if you want to do that. What? Yeah, non-sweetened things you can actually use in a soda stream without ruining it. I didn't do that. I took a shot of espresso that I made and mixed it with a pretty intense shot. Mixed it with seltzer water, and it's like this. It's like a carbonated cold brew, and it's fucking great with the flavoring of this syrup, which is kind of fruity in sort of a date apricot raisin way.
You are so fancy now.
This is really simple. I boiled dried shit in water and added sugar. But I am fancy, kind of, with food. You came to dinner at our house.
I did. I'm still thinking about it.
I was so happy that you came. Hannah loves you, by the way. She was like, yeah, she wanted me to say hi. She couldn't come to the show today because she had to work, but she loved you so much. She was like, please have Elana back.
Anytime, Hannah.
Alana came over and made pasta.
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
It was super great, and everyone was super nice, and then also there was a cat, and the cat was so great.
Multiple cats. Did you meet two or just one?
You
only met Conrad?
I only met one.
Yeah. The other one Pico doesn't really come out when there's like a lot of folks around.
Yeah.
I'm so try. Do you want to try?
Yeah, I totally
I'm
do.
sorry. I just like kind of wet mouthed that. But it's worth it. I swear it's worth it. I don't have AIDS as far as I know.
You almost made me do a spit take.
As far as you know, certainly. Isn't that pretty good?
You do now.
I know. Tell me that's not pretty tasty.
That's really
though.
good.
It's nice, right? Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah. It's unexpected.
It doesn't. Yeah. But I would taste it. I was like, whoa! You just imagine it with like proper fizziness because I made it like a while ago.
It tastes like those Trader Joe's chocolate covered coffee beans if they were a soda.
It kind of does.
Anyway, I approve of it.
Hi, cars. Today's the
Cars.
C8 launch and we ain't there.
Why aren't you there?
Why aren't you there?
Well, come on, look at me.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. It just sounded right. I mean, the only people that I'm really doing new car stuff for are Edmunds, and there were plenty of folks ahead of me on that invite list.
Yeah. I actually didn't get invited by accident. I think because I posted on like Twitter this morning. Someone asked if I was going, and I just like said I wasn't invited. And Seth Mearsma, I think is his name, from GM, wrote. Like within 10 seconds was like DM me, and he got at it real quick. And so
I would have been okay if you had ditched me to go.
Nah, I didn't really want to go. Between you and me
and everyone
and everybody, I saw a lot of pictures of it already. I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And well, can I say I think they did a really nice job? I think I can say that. I think they did a really nice job.
I mean,
I'll give no details.
Did you sign an embargo?
No.
So then you can
because
say
I
whatever
wasn't invited. So I don't know shit. Has anyone broken it yet? I mean, someone's gonna break it, right?
Probably.
Let's just look on the Twitter real quick and see if anybody's broken it yet. Because when someone does, like, I ain't gonna be first, but I ain't gonna be last. Tell me, someone broke the interior. Here's the interior.
Yes, I did see that. Do you want to talk about it?
I already sure. Yeah. This is already on Twitter as of 5:07 p.m. on the 18th. So this ain't my fault, bro.
This was up for hours.
Okay,
hours,
cool.
yeah.
So here's the interior. Overall, I kind of like it. What do you think?
I feel like it's not a great shot to make a judgment from.
It looks like, I mean, what this shot to me indicates is that they've taken the roof off and are shooting it from above, because it looks like you're looking down from above as if the car had no roof on it, which I think is excellent.
But also as if you were extremely tall. So it's not actually an angle that I think any human would ever see.
Shack's eye view.
Yeah. So looking at it right now, the things that stand out to me or that I noticed right away, the screen placement I think is quite strange.
So it's weird that they have gone with what looks like one of those stick-on screens. They've abandoned the gun holder, which they in the C7.
Right,
it goes down and holds a 38 in that bitch. I know it does. Yeah. And they've gone with the Mercedes style stick it on screen, but it's got a pretty aggressive angle towards the driver.
Yeah.
And then they've got the typical oh shit handle that they've had, I guess, but look at this row of, it's got a single column of buttons going the whole way down.
Can you tell, is it actually the oh shit handle? Because I mean, an
you
oh
think
shit
there's a
handle
curve
with,
here, or it's hollow?
Well, it wouldn't make very much sense to put buttons on a handle that people were going to be grabbing in a panic.
Right. True. Maybe it's not an oh shit handle. Maybe maybe this is solid. I think this picture intentionally blacks this out. You can't really see. And it looks like there's going to be some kind of a touch maybe thing here. Mm-hmm. I can't zoom in enough. I will say I find the steering wheel offensive. I mean,
like morally offensive.
There's a lot of hard nose for me on the steering wheel. Like for one, it's fucking square, which I didn't like in the Aston Martin Vanquish, and I don't like here. And also, 2-spoke steering wheels are the worst. It's just the worst number of spokes. It is.
What don't you like about 2 spokes?
I don't know. It's just visually, the balance is so not there. I never liked it in the old Mustangs or I never liked it in like the weird Citroens when they did it, or the Mitsubishis where the 2 spokes came down really sharply.
Do you like the 1-spoke Citroen?
Only because it's so bizarre and strange. Not like I wouldn't want to steer with it, but I'm glad it exists. But nothing about this would be made worse with the addition of a 3rd spoke connecting the bottom here.
Well, everything would have been made better with thinner spokes and more of them.
Yeah, this is quite of a chunky spoke. I think you're supposed to put, I swear to God, I think you're supposed to put your entire hand above the spoke, because now that I look at it, the thumb notches are like way high. So you're actually, I believe, supposed to have your whole hand above the spoke instead of, cupping around the back of it.
Which then leads to questions about what buttons are on the steering wheel, because if your hands are up above it, what are you like? I don't
these
know.
kind of look like double 4-way switches here? And then there's probably your volume and your up down, right?
Yeah.
It's got to have radar cruise. So you're going to have some radar cruise functions.
I mean,
they've kept it pretty cockpity, which is pretty cool to me. I mean, but I feel like, do you remember when the C6 came out and the C6 had a different steering wheel for a year? Do you remember how bad it was?
people got angry.
The 2006 Corvette C6 steering wheel, and they ditched it a year later.
I can't imagine. I mean, unless this photo is just very unflattering to that steering wheel, I can't imagine them sticking with it long.
There isn't a hidden spoke.
I mean, I think, what was it? Like the 1960 Plymouth did a square steering wheel really well.
What, really?
Yeah.
Was it, they did a square steering wheel?
I think it was a Plymouth. Maybe it's a Chrysler.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. Let me see if I can find square steering wheels. Who else did square steering wheels? Oh shit! Look at that.
Yeah. Right.
Who is that? Is that the Chrysler?
The red one, I think, is
this one.
Yeah. See what it says.
That is awful fucking square. Oh my god! A 1962 Imperial.
Yeah, that's a Chrysler.
Dude, wow. You know, I got to tell you, there is nothing new under the sun. Everything someone has already done. That It doesn't, and it's also 2 spokes.
Maybe that one would look better in the Corvette. I mean, it matches.
You know why it's, I think, better in this one? Same reason I think it's a little better in a Rolls Royce is because I believe you drive this vehicle underhand.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A car where you're designed to go underhand, I think I'll give you like a little more leeway. Holy fuck. Honda really went at this. Let's just keep up the square
like
steering wheels for a second. That looks like a device that, like, if you deviate from your lane, it electrocutes you through your hands. Honda came up with some wild ones. The Aston Martin one is not my favorite. Ferraris are getting awful square in some of theirs. Like, I don't mind a squared off bottom if it genuinely helps you get in and out of the car.
Yeah.
If you really need those 2 inches, and maybe in a Corvette you really do.
I think you do. I mean,
I don't know. They've had round steering wheels before.
But I think that the seats have gotten more bolstered and the seating position has changed a lot.
That's true. And I don't want to bite that gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah. I mean, it's no fun to have the steering wheel against your thighs.
No, but God, do I hate. Here's the Aston. If you've never had a good look at the Aston square wheel.
Well, that one is like not even really square. It's like they put the flats on the wrong bit of it.
Yeah. Like I don't understand their thinking here. I do believe that wheel is optional. I think you could get a Vanquish without the square wheel. I think. Can we talk about the lawnmower?
Yeah.
Wait, let me pull it up. So I thought we talked about it the last time Elana was on the show. Turns out we talked about it at dinner because she comes to dinner now.
I love that.
You need to bring Tom next time.
I will.
Next time we'll make something else that's very, very delicious and involving. We could do pizzas. But you told me that you actually went to drive a 150-mile-an-hour lawnmower.
Yes, just before anybody thinks I'm cool, I did not go 150 miles an hour on it.
Bitch.
Yeah, I did.
Use bitch.
I know.
How fast did you go?
Think about 116.
It's pretty quick. It's on She wrote the story for Popular Mechanics. Check it out. Read the review. And what the fuck is that? Listen, to look at it, it looks like they've really taken go-kart racing technology and brought it to lawnmowering. That
is a very astute judgment on this lawnmower. By the way, square steering wheel.
Fucking squares. It's Honda. They have a precedent there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this from this view in this image, which looks like the driver's seat view, it's very go-karty.
It was basically kind of a go-kart chassis with lawnmower bodywork, and it does have a blade.
Yeah, so there's like requirements, right, to have a world's fastest lawnmower.
Right. I mean, as you would assume. But actually, the requirements are fairly recent because what happened is that Honda had the world's fastest lawnmower record in, I think it was like 2012 maybe. Uh-huh.
What was that? Do we have a number there?
It was 120, I think. It's
pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or maybe it was 116. Anyway, it was fast, but then a Scandinavian company built I think a Corvette powered lawnmower, but it was really sort of just a little tube chassis dragster with like a blade.
Do you remember on Monster Garage?
Yeah.
Back in the day, it must have been 05 maybe. They turned, I believe it was a Porsche 944 maybe. They turned into a lawnmower that would cut grass at 50 or 60 miles an hour, I think. I'll find it.
Yeah, do that.
So this one is basically it's somewhere between a go-kart racing go-kart and a lawnmower.
Yeah, but they swear to me that it will cut grass. Did
they provide evidence?
They did not let us
hold up a bag of grass.
Yeah, they didn't let us, but you can find videos of it cutting grass. Although the engineer did admit to me that it is not particularly good at cutting grass. Like you wouldn't want to set it out on the golf course and be like, yeah, get me a nice green.
Man, I'll tell you what, if there was a golf course though, like running out of business, and you had a chance to like try it out without really causing any consequences, oh, would it be great?
Oh yeah, I would have gone
amazing.
for it.
So what's it like to drive?
So I've done a lot of really dumb things in my illustrious career, and this was the first one where on the morning of doing it, I considered not doing it.
Really? Like it was that sketchy?
It was, I mean,
I don't want to call you a pussy because you are not a pussy, but it seems like it's not that sketchy.
Well, it turns out it was okay, but no roll bar, no seatbelts,
when you put it like that.
leathers, helmet, sneakers, because I couldn't even put boots on because I couldn't work the clutch if I had boots on.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's like driving in the 50s where you prefer to be thrown.
yeah, definitely. It was definitely like I would like the crash to happen a distance from me.
Right. The fire to happen a distance from you.
And when the engineer was sort of presenting it to us, he's like, look, I know you guys think that I'm going to be really exaggerated and tell you all this stuff that's really dangerous and it's not going to be that bad, but like this thing will dig a hole, put you in it, and cover you over. So like, don't mess around.
That's a great turn of phrase. Did he literally say, dig a hole, put you in it, and cover you over?
He did. Except he said it with an English accent, so it sounded even better.
That sounds that's like Alfred telling you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mr. Wayne, this device will dig a hole. I'm picturing Michael Caine doing this monologue.
You should. That's exactly what it was like. And then later when we were walking out, I kind of turned to him and I was like, hey, are you worried about having a bunch of journalists drive your lawnmower? And he's like, oh yeah.
Usually it's like, nah, man, you signed the release.
Yeah, well, normally they're like, oh no, it's great. It's super safe. It's going to be fine. But like,
that was sort of how I felt at Bonneville with the Jetta. Like, I didn't feel sketched out, but like they were sort of like, so what kind of experience do you have? Like, they really were a little like, we really want you to, shut it down at this speed. And I went like quite a bit faster because Emmy Hall first. Yeah. Emmy Hall went like 4 or 5 miles an hour faster than they said we should go. And I was like, well, she ain't going to be the fastest one today. So I went 1 mile an hour, like faster than them and like kept going up. It was, So now you're on this thing. You've been warned.
I've been warned.
Yeah. And?
So, and we actually, I ended up editing this out of the story for space and maybe also because, Popular Hot Rodding isn't, or Popular Mechanics rather, is not quite ready to like, address body image issues in the magazine. But it was funny because leading up to it, so we're all wearing these borrowed leathers and all the rest of the people who were there, and there were actually quite a few other women journalists there, which was awesome. But they were all these tiny little elfin women. Like they were so cute and little and they looked like badasses in their leathers. Like they had like really nicely fitted leathers. They looked like assassins or something. And I looked like a panda bear.
Oh no.
It was just like my leathers were a little bit like baggy and I just...
Now you know how I feel in everything.
Aw. We can panda together.
Yeah. Well, is this you in the photos here? Like is that you in there?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, I think you look great. Don't sell yourself
like
short. You look like, color-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly. It's black and white, though. Black and white's cool on everybody. You're good.
But it is funny because it was like, so I was like having whatever lame-ass image issues, and then I get it behind the wheel of this thing, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, my body is the best body. It is like totally unsplattered. It's like nothing's broken on it. Like, I love this body, and then everything was fine, and it was really, really fun. But
unsplattered? You describe your body as unsplattered?
That is the best way to describe a body.
There's two kinds of people in this world: splattered and unsplattered.
Which do you want to be?
It's a good point.
Yeah.
This thing is this it has to have a collection bag for the grass. Is that a rule as well?
Yeah, that is so much a faker because it is hollow underneath.
It just occurred to me. Do you remember when Grassroots Motorsports built that like sucker Corvette thing?
Vaguely.
So Grassroots Motorsports.
They do rad stuff, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't already check in with them and you have any interest in sort of motorsports you can actually afford,
the Chaparral back in the day came up with this ingenious design whereas they would literally have a fan underneath the car sucking air from the bottom and shooting it out the top, thereby creating a negative pressure zone underneath and actually sucking the car to the ground. I believe this was banned rather quickly, right?
Everything Chaparral did was banned. I mean, some of their stuff never even managed to make it to a competition before it was banned.
Has anyone done a proper retrospective on all the things Chaparral did that were banned? I think that the Road Rat magazine should really tackle that. Yeah. Sounds like a good long read.
Have you been to the museum?
Chaparral Museum? No, where is it?
It's in the Permian Basin in Texas.
Where the fuck is the Permian Basin?
It is not a place you would normally go.
Why is
but
is that where Chaparral's from?
It's
or is this like the Prada store in Marfa?
It's near the Prada store in Marfa. Yeah. But
wait, the point was, I'll check out the Permian Basin later. The Grassroots Motorsports built a Corvette that did the same thing and went like real fast in an autocross. The question then becomes, can you invert the blades of the Honda lawnmower to create a sucker effect? Ooh, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if you actually had a lawnmower with active downforce because it had the blades going and sucking air? That would be like, for instance,
they should really hire you.
Right, like there's a top speed record now, right? But like, is there a Nürburgring time? You know what I mean? Like, how far can we take this ridiculousness?
There's only one way to find out.
Was it fun to drive?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Even though I've just done this whole lead up of how anxious I was about doing it. I mean, I'm generally anxious about everything, so it's not like that's
why
unusual.
Hannah loves you so much.
But
you guys can just go hide in a blanket in a room together
so
with like
cozy.
the kittens.
But I like doing things. Once I've done them, I'm glad that I've done them. And once I actually drove this thing, I was like, fuck yeah, I want to go again.
Well, that's what there's a saying in Hannah's family, and it goes, "Fun is best when it's over."
It's possible I'm related to Hannah.
Yeah, you might be. I had that for her birthday. I got a pillow embroidered with that in Latin, so it really looks like profound and like the kind of
thing profound.
You'd buy it like like a pottery barn or something, but it says "Fun is best when it's over." Yeah, it's like exhilarating when you get out of it, right? And you realize like, oh shit, that was like a rush. Did you get to go again, or you get one?
No, I got to go 4 times.
Oh, by the 4th one, you're fucking chilling, right?
It was not a super easy thing to drive because the throttle pedal was very much on or off. Like you couldn't go half throttle or the thing would really
buck. Do they use the lawnmower pedals?
No, it has like it had like little metal race pedals. What
is the engine? Like a motorcycle engine or something?
Yeah, it's like a CBR 1000.
Yeah, awesome.
It's killer.
So is it a full manual transmission?
No, it's it was clutchless to shift when you were moving, but you needed the clutch for first and like reverse and stuff.
Oh, was it paddles or a lever?
Yeah,
or something?
it was like a pull paddle, but not like a quick pull paddle, and that was a real challenge because if you didn't hold the paddle long enough, it would just go into a neutral.
Yeah, no, that sounds like what happens when there's a paddle shift adapter kit for motorcycle gearboxes like that. I drove that. It's come up like the last 3 shows. I drove that Honda N600 with the bike engine swap. It's like lunacy, and that has these paddles, and it's very much. You can tell that they basically took the foot switch and made it into a paddle that you actually do have to
you
like
pull
engage.
And hold, and then you wait to like hear it click in, and that sounds like it's really easy, but when you're kind of
no
when you're like going full throttle and you're under the gun, it was easy to let go of it fast. So there were, I would say, more biffed runs than it's
easy to do once you learn it, but people are, a lot of these really one-off experiences, you're kind of expected to get it right pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Flexibility in like learning how to drive different vehicles is like super key. By the way, this is the Monster Garage lawnmower. It was a Fox body convertible on what appear to be 18-inch Daytons.
That's almost the same as, what did you say before, 914?
No, I think I said I said a 944 or a Fox body originally, and it turns out it was a Fox body. Fucking terrible. Monster Garage was fun though.
Yeah.
That's basically what Roadkill turned into like stemmed from like a more car guy version of Monster Garage. Less, if you could believe, less hokey, if that even makes sense.
Well,
you can describe Roadkill as
definitely less thematic.
Right.
Yeah. And with no actual goals generally.
Yeah, views. When views are the goals, it's like, just be
burnouts,
grimy.
donuts.
You know what
fun.
sells. I think that sells better than Jesse James yelling at somebody for not installing a tennis ball shooter correctly on the side of a Suburban. What the fuck he was doing. What else is happening in the world?
What have you driven recently?
Shit, the thing I'm driving now that I can't talk about.
Yeah, what have you driven recently that you can talk about?
Oh, dude. So I got this guy. This guy contacted me, and he said he's an engineer, and he designed this new type of fog light for motorcycles, and they're called Clearwater lights. And I think I'm going to advertise for him. So I'm in a gray area right now because he sent me them to try, and I installed them on my scooter. And I want to advertise them, but he's probably going to get some free advertising right now because holy fuck, these things are bright. You put them pretty low, like on your on the front kind of hub, and they're an inch and a half in diameter, and they're LEDs, and they come with like a dimmer switch, and I can't drive around without anything but all the way low. And he says that if you put them on your motorcycle and you ride out in the desert, you can be visible a mile away.
That's awesome.
Like during the day. A mile away, and they are the brightest things I've ever seen. And Vinny was able to install them really quickly.
They sound like they'd be great for off-road stuff too.
Good for off-road, and you know, with motorcycling, it's all about visibility, and so that's I actually don't even know how much they cost yet. They can't be that expensive, but the visibility is incredible, and they're just ridiculously bright. But I think I have them aimed in a way so that they're not super obnoxious.
We'll find out.
I guess. You know what I've been thinking about though?
Please tell me.
The Ranger Raptor. Since Zach started talking about it, I was like, ooh, because Zach did a thing in Morocco and for a drive, and Harris drives it in the new season, and he was talking about it. It's like a Raptor that's not gigantic. Like that sounds awesome.
It does.
That sounds exactly like the kind of shit I need to be about.
I think little trucks need to come back.
Yeah. Like, how much right now is Nissan missing out on not retro-futuring a hard body right now? Like, the Frontier needs to fucking go. That shit is stale as a motherfucker. Feed it to the birds. But, like, it's a new hard body throwback, like, would be so awesome right now.
Bring back the 620.
Yes, definitely. What's in your new old stock? You drove up in a car that's about 48 feet long.
Yeah, definitely not a small truck.
What was that?
I could put I could put a 620 in the trunk. Yeah, it's the Polara.
The Polara, yeah. That thing is huge.
It's a monster.
Can I find it here somewhere? Where is it? Is it in your front pages?
I don't think I've posted any pictures of it.
No
recently.
Polara, but you have. But here's your truck.
Yeah,
because your truck is the best. When you described it, you were on the show last time. I don't know if you had a full truck picture to show, but when I saw it at Radwood, it was like, that is the best truck ever.
I have to say it's the best truck ever. I mean, normally I try to be a little more modest, but in this case, that would just be foolish.
You might as well write Pussy Wagon on the tailgate of that bitch. How come
How
you
do you
haven't
know it
gotten
doesn't have it there?
Have you gotten into van life yet? You seem primed for van life.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't. It sounds kind of gross now that I think about it. I apologize. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I do like murals, though. I mean, I am very down for like murals involving whales, wizards, and space.
Who's still painting shit like that? Where do you
That's a good question.
Where do you get your van mural painted?
Yeah, I don't know, because I know a lot of people who do very awesome like 60s retro painting, like lace painting and graphics and
lace
stuff like that.
Lace is so cool.
It's the best, man.
I love watching people do that shit. For those who don't know what you're talking about, you literally lay down lace and then you spray through it, right? Lace painting. Cars. Yo, my fucking Googling fingers are fast as fuck, son.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
It looks. This is why you don't want to find out how little I actually need Zach and Tim. Right, Zach and Tim?
Oh man, I need them. I miss them
this.
both.
This is actually someone's laid down. I do too. Zach's at the Corvette launch right now.
At least somebody is.
Yeah, Tim's like meditating or some shit. He's good. He don't need me. But lace patterns. Actually, this one is really special. That's really nice.
Yeah, well, and that's a really simple one. I mean, sometimes you see these panel paintings where there's multiple layers and
let's see if
there's different kinds of stripes and there's all these different effects, and it's fantastic. It's such a cool deal.
When I see, I want to drive lowriders so badly, but I think when I ask people about them, they think I'm gonna make fun of them.
Yeah, well, because I think that for whatever reason, our side of like car culture, the kind of performance side, has made fun of lowriders for years, which does not make sense to me because they're connected. You know, hot rodding and lowriders, they're connected, and they started in the same place. It wasn't like they ran parallel tracks. I mean, if you go back to like 50s custom cars, they're painted in ways that eventually became connected with lowriders, and they have sort of stances that became connected with lowriders. I met a really cool dude at Bakersfield once, at the track at Bakersfield, who was in a car club up there, and they had it was like a customs car club that was all that kind of very early in between the split between customs and lowriders. And all the cars were so interesting, like the graphics on them and the way that they were stanced. It's just, nothing else is quite like it.
When we were talking about the same, like, are they both driving 62 Impalas, just done in different ways? Or is it sort of like the late 50s transition?
Earlier, yeah, 50s cars, like Cadillacs and Fords and stuff like that, but painted more like lowriders with like that.
So not flat black, more flaked out cars, but from the 50s?
Yeah.
Like what came from each?
Not quite the extreme flake that we're looking at here. More subtle and more line work.
Well, here's a 50s car with lace work on it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful, isn't it?
That is nice. That's, yeah, I mean, more like that.
I mean, this is not a very high res image, but the black and red with the lace is pretty bitchin'.
So my helmet is lace painted.
Really?
I did it for a hot rod story with Pete Santini. You might be able to find a picture of it.
Pete Santini, huh?
Yeah, if you look up Pete Santini hot rod helmet.
Let me see if he's got what his Instagram is about.
Oh yeah, his Instagram's pretty good.
Oh, this dude could paint. Look at that.
Yeah, he used to paint funny cars in the 60s and 70s. He's
very vivid. These blues, because I'm colorblind, these blues like blast me.
Yeah.
This shit really stands out hard. Oh, here's some lace on a helmet. Is that you?
No, mine was a long time ago.
Wow, look at that's a sick look. What does this guy charge to do a helmet?
I don't know.
Probably a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck this.
But it's worth it. The guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, this has got striping. This has got lace. This has got lettering.
Travis Hess is another one who does that kind of work. That's really good.
Super cool. Oh, chrome. That's a little aggressive. Wait, what was the other one?
Travis Hess.
Travis Hess. Is
Tukey,
that?
Yep, Tukey paints it.
Tukey paints it. It's a good name. Ooh. Oh, wow. I love this when they do this turned metal stuff
Yeah.
here. So do you know how they do that? Is this paint or is it actual metal?
It's gold leaf.
Oh.
So like it's a super thin hammered gold, and then sometimes it comes already patterned, but if it's actually done in leaf, those metal turns are with like a little flat piece of wood or something, and they press it down and spin it.
I love this guy's use of color. This guy has a really, really vibrant color palette. It's very, very pretty.
Yeah, he and his dad are not afraid of it. His dad does.
This is a second gen?
Yeah, races a Hemi super stock car.
It's very Von Dutch right here. I like it. Oh, it's cool. You should just tell me can you tell me every painter you follow? I don't know if I can
I'll have to send you a list.
Please do.
But there are some rad ones, including a guy whose name I'm blanking on right now, because jet lag. But he does much more lowrider stuff, and he's based out here in the San Fernando Valley. So he might hook you up.
Please hook me up. My boy Luke Doby made my. I haven't even gotten to use it yet. That's weird. Since I got my helmet, it's my. Have you seen my open face with Homer Simpson's head on it?
No.
It's got Homer Simpson's head on it, and it's got a. Yeah, I got a dig. And it's got a fucking donut on the back of it with my name in the donut. It's wild.
Was that your idea or his idea?
It was my idea. The donut was him. But I was trying to think of something because the Trump helmet was great and it's just so not funny anymore. and my other helmet died of old age and expired. So I wanted to do something. Here it is. That didn't take very long at all.
No.
So it's Homer Simpson's head, which I think he did a fantastic job. And then there's a really nice Simpson style name on the back, and
it's extra good because like Matt, the Simpsons.
Yeah,
you know?
It's perfect. Yeah. And it's Luke LD Designs, by the way. If you want Luke, he's great. He's a good painter. If you want him to paint some shit for you, Luke LD Designs on Instagram. Luke Doby is his name. Very happy with him. What have you driven recently? Anything good for Edmonds? Anything average for Edmonds?
I've been. What was I just in? I drove the Telluride.
Oh yeah, everyone's talking about that thing.
It's good.
My good friend just bought the Palisade.
Yeah, I drove the Palisade too.
Yeah, they're kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
Which one's nicer?
The Palisade is nicer, but I like the Telluride more.
Why is that? Just design?
It's just a little simpler and more, I don't know, true to itself, if that...
True to itself,
Well,
huh?
like the Palisade is fancier, but like I feel like it doesn't look quite as nice. The Telluride, I think, looks good.
Here, oh, I get comparison images. Hold, please.
There you go.
Comparison images. Who is this courtesy of? Friendly Kia. All right. Thank you.
See, I feel like
Thank you, Kia dealer.
the Telluride is just a little simpler. The Palisade is
Let's see.
fancied
Ooh,
up.
you're right. Oh, so you know what's funny is I really when I went to my friend's house, the Palisade was parked in his garage, like nose in, and I really only saw the back, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty much just like the Telluride,
Yeah.
but the front is hugely different. The Kia's front works way better.
I thought so.
Yeah, the Kia's got a really I forgot who brought one here, but it's got a really handsome like silhouette and front end.
Yeah.
It's almost Cullinan-esque. Almost. It's very nice. It's very nice. But my boy who bought the Palisade, he was like, yo, I got this thing like fully loaded for like 46
That's
grand.
the thing, right?
It's
Like,
really, I was like, what? It would look way more. I was going to guess high 50s.
yeah, it was really nice to actually get to review some cars where it was like, this is a reasonable amount of money for this car. I feel like everything's so expensive. I think I might have insulted Tim Kaniskis from Dodge recently because he was asking me, what I thought, manufacturers need to do. Like CEOs and presidents and stuff, they love to like hit you with that. Like, well, what do you think we should do? But really, they just want you to tell them that like whatever they're doing is awesome, I think.
That's not just presidents and CEOs. That's fans and people who have car questions and fucking everybody.
But anyway, I told him I thought that all the American car manufacturers were charging too much and they needed to figure out how to make things more affordable. And he was like, I think he was sort of like, that's for the Korean car manufacturers. And I was like, well, then people are going to buy Korean cars. But.
Well, I mean, I think American car makers competed on price for so many years. I really think they're trying to get out of that. I don't think it's working.
Well, it would work if what they were doing was head and shoulders above what everybody else was doing.
True.
But it's not, with a few exceptions. With a few exceptions. I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to get in so much trouble for this. But
why?
I feel like I feel like the big three...
Opinions are hers and not that of Edmonds.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Just disclaimer.
I feel like the big three is kind of where they were in like 1968 or something like that, where they're like, we have a couple real awesome cars and everybody's going to keep wanting these super big giant cars that we're making and we're going to charge a lot for them and we're not going to worry about what those like cheapy brands are doing because nobody really wants those cheapy brands. That's
That's also
car
where they
manufacturer
were
voice.
in 2006, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
They weren't just there in 68. They were there in 06 too.
And I don't know how the result will be different. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I'm a American car fan.
I don't think the result will be different. I think they're going to end up in exactly the same place they were in 06. They have they don't have a Prius really. They still how many years has it been? They still I'm a Volt evangelist. Like I loved the Volt. I'm so sad it's gone. I think it was the best, probably the best American car made in the last 20 or 30 years. But they still don't have a fucking Prius. Like, what are you doing? It's like the best selling car. Everybody, you know what I mean? It's the gold standard of economy cars. Like, why don't you have one?
Yeah, and I mean, I get that everybody wants SUVs. I mean, when I talk to non-car people, they want SUVs. I mean, that's not that's
it's
not
understandable.
A fake thing.
No, it is. But dude, nobody remembers history. I'm not saying that they shouldn't deliver for those SUV and crossover, but don't kill the economy car.
Well, and also make the best SUVs, which...
Well, that too. That's a good point. My dad has an Escalade. It's a piece of shit.
Lincoln makes some nice SUVs.
I hear the Navigator's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
My pop saw a Navigator when he came out here and poked around it a little bit and was kind of excited about it. But I think in terms of quality, I sat in an X7 and I was like, oh, this is really, really nice. I think the X7 that with the bucktooth Bugs Bunny thing is a little weird, but the quality felt there when you touched it. I like that. This too.
Yeah.
The Telluride, how much more is Telluride is more?
Okay, it's kind of weird because Palisade is more, but if you go fully loaded on both, then Telluride is more.
Is it weird that some, like, it's not like Kia is more expensive than Hunt? Like, some, that goes back and forth, right? Does Kia always have the more expensive option? And I'm making that up?
I don't know. I would have thought Hyundai always had the more expensive
mentally,
option.
I think that too, but I'm not sure, especially because Genesis is no longer Hyundai. I don't know. We may have to research that one and come back.
Yeah, or we can just wait until somebody tells us.
Someone will tell us.
Yeah.
The key to getting the right answer is to spout the wrong one. That's rule one of the
how I
internet.
do it.
That's the first rule of the internet. Yeah, it's a Reddit world.
Yeah, I mean,
If you need someone to get
basically,
some
I'm
shit
just
for you.
fact checking on the fly.
Yeah. Hey, fools, if you want to get in the super chat, do it in the next 5 or 6 minutes. Hey, guys. Oh, lots of people like Elana. There
Oh,
you
good.
go.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like lots of people too.
I like Elana, too. That's why I say her.
So what else? What else?
Fucking this Corvette thing is. How about this?
I'm ready.
Do you think that GM should have attempted to continue the front engine Corvette and at the price point it was, and then build a mid-engine Cadillac to slot above it rather than the more mass market mid-engine Corvette that replaces the entire C7 platform?
Oh.
Because that has nothing to do with the reveal. That just is.
I think that I almost feel like this car exists because the world willed it into existing.
What do you mean?
I mean, I feel like everybody has. I almost feel like Chevrolet was like, man, we are so tired of every year having to like put down the mid-engine Corvette rumors. We're just gonna make one.
Yeah.
So
I think that probably. Well, I think I clicked the wrong button. I think it has to do with racing, right? There's got to be. It needs to be competitive, and I think they're mid-engined.
They're tired of losing to the GT.
And also, I think they really kind of hit the low number for 0 to 60 times, and they, God forbid, you can't. What did the ZR1 get to? 3, whatever. God forbid you can't get in the 2s or whatever these things do these days. I sound like an old man saying that. Whatever these things do these days. So I think they needed that, and I think they wanted to move up market. I think they felt like the only way up market was to do that.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of had to be done.
Yeah. Well, again, I feel like the American car brands really want to all be top tier luxury brands.
They do. Cadillac keeps trying and failing more spectacularly than the others. I don't think
they seem to lack commitment.
But yeah. They change direction sort of frequently, and they don't. Well, is that shit? Which is the Cadillac crossover? SRX. Oh boy, I don't want. I'm gonna get it wrong.
I feel like any car company that has all of their too many similar cars that are too many similar letters cannot expect me to remember them.
Wow, there's an XT5 and there's an XT4, 5, and 6. Where did all these crossovers come from?
And where are they? Because when was the last time you saw one?
I don't think I've ever seen an XT6. Is this a Cadillac Blazer? Is that what we're looking at here? This looks like a Cadillac Blazer, right?
Catalaser is what I would call it.
A Cablazer? A Blazelac? A Blazelac.
Yeah. Okay, that
Blazelac
wins. That's it. Cadillac marketing call.
That sounds like what you do in high school when you borrow your grandma's car. I have literally never seen this before. I guess it's because it's 2020. It's brand new. Maybe it's literally not. Maybe it's just not out yet.
We're just not doing our jobs is the thing.
There's only so much we can know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not my fault. I was in England at a drag strip, which...
Dude, drag muscle cars in England?
Yeah, it was great.
It's like so hot right now, right?
It was so great.
Tell me everything.
Well, so there's only one drag strip in England. It's called Sanapod. It's been there since the mid-'60s. It's an old Air Force base. And it was super great. It was full of awesome muscle cars, and also these incredible.
It looks like it could be anywhere in America.
Yeah,
Look at that.
yeah. It's weird because being there was sort of like watching your favorite movie, but in a different language. So it was like super familiar, but the words were different.
Yeah, drag racing with English accents. Yeah.
And then
that could fuck you up.
it was fun though, like because some of the they do.
This is literally the only drag strip in the UK. Mm-hmm. Do you know that the UK has more road courses per square mile than any other country in the world?
I absolutely believe it because people are into their cars there.
They are, and there are so many decommissioned air bases that they turned into racetracks.
Yeah.
But just one. I've heard a lot about drag racing and muscle cars being huge in the UK for like quite some time now.
Well, so
what's the scene like in the parking lot of this place?
it's good. You know, there's kind of a rockabilly angle to it, but not as dedicated as like the rockabilly scene here. So you'd see people walking around sort of full 40s, full 50s, but then just regular schmoes. Way more family than the tracks out here. Like it was so family
Is that 'cause
oriented.
there's way less racism?
What? I mean, just like families.
Yeah.
Like no, they were all white people for the most part. I mean, it was the middle like countryside in England, but it was like full families, lots of kids everywhere, and a lot of camping. They had like dance lessons there, you know, like there's a lot going on. There was like monster trucks and carnival rides.
How about the Festival of Power?
Yeah, there were jet cars. I stood next to a jet car.
Jet cars fucking rule.
Oh my God.
They
Those people
rule.
are crazy.
If you've never been in person to see jet cars, find a way. It's so cool. Or even better, that truck. What's the truck called? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The semi truck that's got the triple jets. What is
I
that?
bet Brian Loans knows.
Yeah. Okay, so what kind of racing did you see?
Well,
all this stuff?
I mean, I saw all the drag racing.
Was it a big event? Like a full,
Yeah.
full-
It was
okay.
called Drags. Well, I actually went 2 weekends. So the first weekend I went was a Ford event, which is really funny because I didn't know what any of the cars were. I mean, I kind of did, but it was like Escorts and Capris and Cortinas.
That's awesome.
Like all these funny little Fords that England had that we didn't have. You know, that you normally associate with rally cars, but they were all like drag cars. So that was pretty great.
So you'd see these like little, like an Escort Mark 1, but with like a big blown V8 in it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking awesome. I would love the juxtaposition of that.
And also a lot of people doing it with like turbo 4-cylinders and stuff. So there was,
really?
you know, it was kind of an import scene except
Neat.
with Fords. So that was fun. And then the next weekend was called Dragstalgia, which is like their vintage nostalgia. And that was way more American muscle cars, but also like hot rods made of English cars. Like there was a Volvo P1800 gasser.
Oh, it's
So like
Wait,
big Chevy big block in it.
There's some real interesting at like what the fuck is that? Wait, what's that? Is that a Nash?
I know.
Do you know what the wait, do we like this is that's some like English
Yeah.
Does it even have an engine in it? What's happened here?
That's a carburetor.
Are
in
we?
it.
Oh, that is a carburetor. Yeah, but it's sort of like it looks like it's,
It's
like
just a floating.
I don't know what this is, but that's very British, and he's driving on the right side.
Yeah. Well, there were people on all the different sides of the cars, which so I like never knew where to look. Like, is a dog driving that car? Like, I don't know. And you know, there was like a Rover with a big block Chevy in it. No, big block Ford in it, and yeah, there was just a lot of good stuff.
Oh,
a Skoda.
A Skoda.
Anyway, I put up a lot of photos. So, and then I also did a bunch of car spotting.
Was it just to experience, or was it a story?
No, I'm doing a story for automobiles.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Is the story just about the scene?
No, I went there with Roland Leong, who was a funny cartooner in the 60s and beyond here. He was Don Prudhomme's first crew chief. And he's called the Hawaiian. He used to have a funny car called the Hawaiian, and then the Hawaiian Punch funny car, if any of you guys remember that from like the
Was
80s.
it actually sponsored by Hawaiian
It
Punch?
sure was.
I'm definitely getting that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, it's a great looking race car.
Right? I should have brought you a
That's
sticker.
a great looking. You have a sticker of this?
Yeah, he gave me a bunch of stickers.
Oh,
I'll get you
I
one. I'll
must.
save you one.
I must. We were talking about amazing liveries last night, and there was a money It was like an IndyCar or a Formula One team in the 80s. It lasted like a couple months, and the guy went to prison. It was like a money lending thing. It was like Moneyola or something like that.
What? Find it. I don't know that one.
I have to look in the search history. This Hawaiian Punch thing is dope, though. What kind of vehicle is this supposed to be?
Oh, God. A Monza? An Arrow? I don't remember.
Monza? Yeah. Is it? I don't know. I want to say it's like a Dodge Daytona.
Could be.
Actually.
I mean, you could probably look it up. I should know, but I don't.
You should
I'm
know,
not
but
even
you don't
going to
because you're
apologize.
stupid.
Because that's what Google's for.
Hawaiian Punch funny car. It doesn't really... what type of car was it? Doesn't really say. The Hawaiian. I like this guy, though. I mean, is he Hawaiian?
He sure is.
His picture on his NHRA bio is quite exciting.
Well,
it's
he was
basically
very
just
famous for
car in the air and sideways.
He's not in that car.
No?
He was already tuning by then. So he, when he came,
I thought you were going to tell me he's like 20 feet away from the car in the air.
When so he came over and he wanted to get his own license, and he went to do the licensing run, and he crashed on the licensing run, and his engine builder basically said to him, like, your mom is so scary that I won't build anything for you if you keep driving, so why don't you get this guy Don Prudhomme to drive for you instead? And that's like how Don Prudhomme basically became famous.
Wait, but you glossed over you buried the lead there. Your mom is so scary?
Well, I mean, they were young. They're like super young. I mean, he was like 19, maybe 18, 19, and so he came over from Hawaii, and his parents or his mom came out to like make sure he was settled properly, like and like the way he says it is like, hey, I was the only boy in a Chinese Hawaiian family.
How old is this dude now?
He is gonna be he's late 70s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he must be a riot to hang
He's
out
hilarious.
with
He's super smart. He's too smart for me to understand what he's saying most of the time. So, like, if you go on my Instagram and you look at some of the videos that I posted on the Instagram TV, that it's mostly like me asking him questions and then asking him that same question like 5 more times to see if I can finally understand what he's telling me, because I'm dumb. But
Where is you? Okay. Are they on your Instagram?
Yeah, I think they're up on Instagram TV probably,
okay.
But they're down here. So like this is all
it?
Yeah, that's all it. And
dude, look at this guy running. I love this. This is a 50 something Chevy.
57, I think.
Wow. Aluminium. It's got an aluminium radiator. That must be so bizarre. Oops. To just hear people doing drag
So like
talk.
that one that you just clicked off of, just below that. Oh, but look at that thing.
Wow.
Twin Triumphs running nitro.
What am I looking at? 2 engines?
2 engines, supercharged, running nitro on a motorcycle.
Oh my God. What did that thing run? Is it eighth mile or quarter mile?
180 or something.
Jesus Christ.
Quarter mile.
Fucking bike drag people are completely out of their mind.
Yeah. I mean, so anybody who has ever written for me when I was an editor knows that I have a ban on using any sort of reference to testicles in declaring someone's bravery, because I feel like it's generally irrelevant. But in the case of that dude,
you're allowed.
Holy hell.
2
Big ones.
engines.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What was this video?
Oh, so that's Roland explaining to me how a barrel valve works in a nitro funny car. I don't recommend playing it right now. It's long, but like.
Well, let's just hear him explain something.
There comes out here. Goes back to the tank.
On both up and down?
No, just here.
Oh yeah, I'm lost already.
Yeah.
Then when you go full throttle,
He banged it to me. Yep.
Just smashed
see how
into the
it's all the way
camera.
open?
Yep.
Okay.
So anyway, that's a valve for running nitro into an engine, and because you run the fuel into those things at such high pressure, you need to tune the return on it, because otherwise when you shut the car off,
it just
you're gonna like
floods.
blow everything up. So there's a lot of stuff like that.
When you're tuning in the 60s and are you just tuning carburetors? Is that what the tuning is? What are you tuning?
On those cars, even in the 60s, they were fuel injected, but no computers.
Yeah, mechanical fuel injected, right?
Yeah, so you're tuning timing. You're
Right.
tuning the ratio of nitromethane to alcohol that you're running, right? Like you have more nitro, then you're
Wait, so do those cars not run just one or the other? They run both together?
Yeah, nobody runs 100% nitro.
Oh, really?
I mean, there
Say
are
that with a
people
Vin
who
Diesel
have.
voice. It's like, nobody runs 100% nitro.
Gonna blow the welds. No, there have been teams that do that, but it's blows up.
Sometimes
Likes
it
to
just
blow up.
goes boom.
So normally they run I think high 80s, 90%. I think
the mixing fuels is like it's fucking
dude.
gibberish
It
to
is
me.
full on
They
black
start talking
magic.
about the ethanol and shit when people are like, "Well, I run 20% mix," and I'm like,
well, and it's like super. It's super interesting, and I'm not smart enough to explain it to you, but I'm going to try anyway. Which is basically, at least when you're talking about nitro. So like nitro brings its own oxygen. That's why it brings power.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Like if you looked at what's in how it breaks down or something, it brings its own oxygen with it. So when you put nitro into an engine, you're actually making that engine run leaner. Like you're putting more, you're bringing more oxygen in with it. And
so then you can add even more fuel.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
So, so that's one of the ways that they would tune back then is by adjusting the ratios of fuel that they were running, the timing of the engine, like when the spark was burning that fuel, and
That's
then
so neat.
And then also like, the clutches behind, like, because they're like multiple clutches. It's not like a single disc.
Oh, for the drag car?
Yeah. So
you can tune how the clutches catch, I guess,
Yeah,
with
because,
springs and gears,
well, with the
right?
springs and gears, and also with the discs themselves, like how grabby are they, and like have you used them before? Because they change how grabby they are if it's a used one or a new one. So you normally try to have a mix of new and used, and you want to put them in the same way. It is
because they rebuild the clutches every other race or whatever. That's fucking so crazy.
Yeah, there is a lot going on, and the people who do it are quite smart.
You want to know something I am a little embarrassed to admit that I don't know how it works? Maybe you can explain it to me.
I don't know how anything works.
You might, because you really are into drag racing.
Go for it.
I don't really understand how a trans brake works. I don't need an engineer's explanation, but I just I know that an automatic transmission's got it's the liquid, and you can so it basically creates a launch control by holding the transmission, right?
Yeah.
But is it just basically like having it in park with a brake on?
I think that they can do it in different ways, and I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that it definitely is not coupled up to the rear wheels, obviously, because then you would be doing a burnout. And I think it does it in pressure. Let's find out. Oh, see, okay, first and reverse at the same time.
First and reverse at the same time, effectively holding it stationary. Right. Oh, okay. Applied by activating current to a solenoid. Okay, so first and reverse at the same time, so it cancels itself out, basically. But you can still rev it up pretty high.
Right.
And that has to do more with the torque converter, stall converter, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have to read more about that. But that makes sense. Or it makes some sense, I guess.
As far as the revving it up, I think that's like having the clutch in on a manual car, right? You're not connecting, right? At that moment, you're not connecting the engine.
But I think you are, because you're not dumping the clutch. If you have a trans brake, that's an automatic.
But it's all being eaten up, I think, in the torque converter. So it's not.
I guess, right? It's like you must be able to rev the torque converter higher because of that torque converter. Someone is screaming at themselves right now.
Oh, they are so irritated with us right now.
Yeah. There's people who know this shit, and they're us.
Yeah, they are so not us.
That's okay. We know other things.
Yeah, what's something you know?
What's something I know? What do I know? I know that an engine built by Marco Gerasi at TLG Auto can go 60% longer than Porsche recommended oil adding intervals. I just added oil for the first time, 1,600 miles. Porsche recommends 1,000 in the manual. That's excellent.
That, Porsche.
Yeah. Marco's engine's better, and it makes 50% or 40% more power.
Yeah. What
that
do I
rules.
know? I know that I know that the Jensen Interceptor came with a 440 Chrysler engine, and that there was also a very rare 6-pack option and a very rare all-wheel drive option.
I know that the air conditioning switch in my Lamborghini Countach is actually from a refrigerator company.
Is it a good refrigerator company?
Not right now.
That was good. That was some real good knowing things.
Here's the thing I know.
Out.
In the Ford GT, the not the newest one, the 05 one, the wanna go. They have a machine in Dearborn that tests the structure for like rollover testing for the roof. They crush it, and the Ford GT was so strong it broke the machine.
What?
Yeah, it's a really, really, like, if you're going to get into a crash, which is really likely in a Ford GT, it's no traction control, and it's a real handful when it rains, it's a really safe car to crash in.
Oh, good.
It is.
I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Super, super safe car to crash in. Some people want to know some things.
Let's talk to some people.
We can talk to the people.
Yeah.
Weirenfeld 1990 wants to know the best and worst cars that you have driven. Elana, can you recall?
Oh, gosh. I mean, this is subjective, right?
Of course.
So the car that suits me the best in terms of driving was definitely the last generation Viper. I never had a bad time in one.
That's good. Those are a good choice.
And,
Vipers are fun.
The worst car I've driven has got to be one of the Roadkill cars. Maybe the Gremlin.
Yeah.
I don't know. And not because the Gremlin is bad, just because Roadkill cars are bad.
You have the fact
driven
that
a
you've
lot of
driven
bad
all
cars.
the Roadkill cars
Yeah.
and like all those magazine project cars and shit, some of them must have been horrific.
Yeah, I've driven some bad cars.
Yeah.
I've owned some bad cars.
Yeah. The best car, I drove a McLaren F1 for like 5 minutes. It wasn't, by most people's standards, it's enough to say you drove it. By my standards today, I wouldn't really call it a drive. It was a cruise around the block more than anything else. It was special. But I had a Koenigsegg Agera R.
Is that the one with the crazy spider eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a runway, and it was pretty fucking extraordinary. And I think that would pretty much top the list of that. But worst, there's a trend that I think might be dead. I hope it is, of like the Ariel Atom inspired it, of having cars without bodywork, and then some folks just decided, like, instead of building a chassis, a tubular chassis, like Exocet did it to a certain extent, and then people just started taking the bodywork off front-wheel drive cars.
Vet cart gone wrong.
Yeah, like vet cart, but someone actually trying to sell that to someone as an idea and a package. Those are a disaster. Taking bodywork off cars makes them really bad.
There is a reason for it.
It's not just to add unnecessary weight. Driving a fucking Civic with no bodywork on it at like 80 miles an hour, you feel like you could really die at any... Like you probably felt in the lawnmower. That's basically it.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Well, it's also just like so uncomfortable. Like even if you've ever driven like a fenderless hot rod, it's like, oh, that's what fenders are for. all that crap that's on the ground that's constantly being flung up and caught by the fender, it just hits you.
Bro, I don't like the Ariel Atom. You know how many rocks I got up my pants?
Excuse me.
I got rocks up the legs of my pants. What kind of a car is this?
Well, if you wore your skinny jeans, you'd be okay.
Right? If I was the appropriate size for that vehicle, like, it would be fine. But like, I'm not. No, I like.
Hey, we're not body
work.
shaming, right?
I body shame myself. I've blocked all the body shame.
Hey, unsplattered, good body.
True. Although I wouldn't describe myself as unsplattered. Do you want to talk about my body for a second? Look at this.
More than anything.
No, look at this. So I put a picture on Instagram. Get this. We're gonna talk. We're gonna get a little honest with people for a second. It's not gonna be gross, I promise. But it's a light. Here. So I put this picture of.
Oh yeah. A dude was really mad at me.
So I did this, and part of it was to show that my legs are different sizes from driving. And then someone also, who was a doctor, said, "Hey, by the way, you have like varicose veins in your leg, and you should get them checked out."
Oh, the one that looks like a creature.
It's
living
like a
in
little
there?
lumpy. Yeah. And he goes, "You should get that checked out because you could have like fucking blood clots and shit." He's like, and so actually, I did go get it checked out, and it was it was impossible to get an appointment with this vein doctor, the best vein doctor in LA. It was
How do you find the best vein doctor in LA?
I have a really good internist, and if you want him, I'm happy to share. He's amazing, and all the people he refers me to are amazing. And I don't want to blow him up on the podcast, but if you're in LA and you want a great internist, like privately email me, I'll happily send him. But so this guy, Dr. Rao, is the vein guy. I go see him, and he comes in the chart and he goes, Matt Farah? He goes, dude, I watch your show. I was like, oh, thank God, this guy. And we spend the first 20 minutes of the appointment that it's taken me like a month to get, talking about his Lotus Elise and how much he loves it. And then I was like, so the veins? And he goes, oh no, you're fine. Because I went to get ultrasounds and everything. So
then did he bill you?
No, probably, yeah. But he goes, "Oh no, you're fine." He goes, "You don't need anything." He goes, "Like they're, if they start to hurt or something, but until then." But he goes, "Here's what he recommended," and now I'm wearing fucking compression socks.
I did notice your sweet socks. Yeah,
you noticed that now I'm a compression socks guy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of digging them. I kind of understand girls in tights. They feel good. They're nice.
Yeah, it feels like your legs are being hugged.
Yeah, so now I get to wear tights, and apparently that will help my circulation. That's a little personal note.
Well, next time I'm on, we can do follow up.
Do you wear compression when you fly and shit? Do you wear them?
No.
Hannah wears them when she flies. She's been trying to get me. I took a picture of them this morning because I put them on for the first time today, and I'm wearing like orthotics in my shoes now. And I texted Hannah like, I'm a walking orthotic now, and she texts back, "I've never loved you more." So I guess
you're kind of like a living version of that old filter that everybody's using on Instagram.
Totally. I read that is owned by a Russian company that.
Did you? Ain't nothing for free. So if you download stuff and you get it for free, you're paying for it some way.
What's little election interference? I look older.
Yeah.
Sean Smith wants to know what would be a cool classic chassis for a 1JZ engine. He got the engine already. What's he going to put it in? He suggests a 240Z or an RX-7, both of which are excellent choices. I drove a 240Z with a 1JZ in it. It was fucking crazy fast. Go watch the video. I'll find it real quick. It's TST 1JZ 240. Here's how you find.
That was real good searching.
Yup. This is how you find the things. Where is it?
Or not.
Maybe it was a 2JZ. I thought it was a 1J. I thought it was a 2. Maybe it was 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I've certainly seen a lot of really awesome 2JZ swaps.
Found it. Because it's a 2. It was a 260Z. That's why, not a 240Z. But it is. This thing was. Oh, here we go. This thing was so ugly. You love it, like right? It had no paint on it. It had dirty over fenders. It had louvers, and I shit you not, it had the side windows were non-existent because they've been smashed, and when I turned like right, fucking glass behind the dashboard. Yeah. Look at that. Here's a 1J 2JZ turbo, and this car was so ugly. It was built by some high school kids, but it was fast as balls. This thing went like a motherfucker.
Interior's nice.
It was really dirty and gross, but but it was super, super fast. And I very strongly encourage anyone to consider that.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you kind of have that one covered. Although I will say, and again, it's a 2JZ, not a 1JZ, but I do know that somebody is building a land speed streamliner with a 2JZ for Bonneville this year.
I bet that'd be super cool.
So Sean Smith, if you're a fan of those engines, you should keep an eye out for coverage of that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure an RX-7, I think you'd end up in basically the same place if you did a 240 versus an RX-7.
Yeah, I mean, they handle nice.
Yeah, they do. RX-7s handle good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else? What else would you put a 1JZ in? Maybe something small and American, like a Mustang 2.
Yeah. Well, I remember a long time ago, Spectre. Do you remember Spectre?
Yeah.
They had a Maverick, I think, with a 2JZ, and that was pretty badass.
2JZ Maverick. I like that. I also think you could do something like a Fox body if you really wanted to get down on it. I think that would be really fun. Or a
how big are those engines? They're fairly large. Like you couldn't put it into like a tiny little like English Roadster or anything, could you?
Not like a midget.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you could get one into an MGB. You might have to do some firewall shit. You might be able to go into like an AC. Let's see. Mint Society says, what is the best all-wheel drive and four-door car for under $8,000? I'm thinking a Volvo S40 or a Subaru Legacy, preferably manual for Colorado mountain drives in a daily. $8,000 all-wheel drive? Fuck, a working car. That's not much money for all-wheel drive. Like Subarus, I'm guessing the NA Subarus, right? Like the older Legacies, the older Outbacks, stuff like that. What else can you get that's all-wheel drive?
Were the older Foresters all-wheel drive?
All Foresters are all-wheel drive. Foresters are better than most people think they are.
Yeah. And
they can, all the Subaru suspension shit goes on them. I've driven some really fast Foresters before. Those are pretty useful vehicles if you're in Colorado and going skiing. 4th gen Subaru Legacies are great. In general, fuck if it works. Can you get a no. Volvo S40s are such pieces of junk.
And he wants like a car, not like a Jeep or something.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Jeeps, but he's talking about Colorado mountain drives. I mean, Subarus are where you live right now. 8K might get you a nice 2.5 RS or Legacy GT. I would look there. I would look at Subarus if you really want all-wheel drive. Alan says the steering wheel looks like an ergonomic mess. You have to move your hands from 9 and 3 to 7:30 and 4:30 to use the controls. I agree with you unless you're supposed to put your entire hand above the spoke. Robert Adams says, I'm thinking of upping the fun on the Corvette. Should I get a supercharger on an LS3 C6 base or upgrade to the Z06?
Z06.
I would say you should upgrade to the Z06. Absolutely. You get a lot more with a Z06 than just power. Also, which is more fun, a C6 Z06 or a C7 Grand Sport? Was that my headphones that just cut out, or did yours just have a little hair too?
I think I might have made a clicking sound with my tongue as I was thinking about this.
Okay. I think the C7 is a much nicer car. And it's probably as fast as the C6 Z06, realistically. If you can afford the Grand Sport, I would go for that.
I think I like the exterior a lot more on the C7, but I think
you can take the roof
dollars
off.
To activities, the C6 is probably cheaper.
It's cheaper for sure. You get a warranty probably with the Grand Sport. You can take the roof off. It's probably just as fast. I would go Grand Sport. Robert Baker says, Elana, what car built on roadkill would you like to take home?
Ooh, I mean, I've taken a couple of them home. I've had the muscle truck at my house before, and vet cart.
You took the vet cart home?
We actually worked on the vet cart in my backyard. It's in that episode, and the bent road.
But did you drive it home?
No, no. I think they dropped it off.
The vet cart. If you have no idea what she's talking about, this is it, and it ain't pretty.
It was even less pretty after we set it up for trying to drive on two wheels.
Was it fun? Was there any state it was in that it was actually like fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
What state was it the best?
I think when they first built it, it was the best.
Like just the initial, like remove the body?
Yeah.
Is that pretty much here? Or where's that?
I mean, there are a lot of vet carts too, so not all of those I think are the roadkill one. But I think he probably means what car would I take home because I actually wanted to own it.
Yeah.
And I mean, Freiburger's Super B is really nice, and also Finnegan's Gasser is really nice.
The Gasser's the shit.
Yeah.
Those are like not shitty.
Yeah.
Those are actually good cars.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that's kind of lame. I should take one of the shitty ones, but I have so many of my own shitty cars. I don't really need any.
No, it's not lame. There's an open question there. A good car can be. It's okay to like good cars sometimes.
I did like the Crusher Impala. I drove that car a lot because we were shooting it and they needed someone to drive it, and I just think that one's really funny for some reason.
Cool. Alex, with a bunch of numbers after it, says, last October we did a show and he was telling us about buying a Fiesta ST to put next to my Turbo Miata at 40,000 miles. Update, it's been the biggest amount of fun since building the Miata. Good. I like when people have fun.
I hope that we were supportive in your decision to do that.
We're a pro Fiesta ST show.
I mean, I'm just pro pretty much everything.
You are. You're a bad influence on most people.
Yeah.
Kay Kostek says, are we still on track for the Westside Collector Car Storage launch? Yes. Where's my website? Check out my website. It's looking good.
Ooh, look at that website.
Wait, hang on. There's animations and things.
What?
That's the renderings. And it's coming along. We're going to be opening in October. If you are interested in storing cars with us, please hit me up, matt@westsidecollectorcarstorage.com, or just fill out the contact us, John. Right here. I got you. Get at me, it says.
How much room have you got for some shitty ramp trucks that don't move? How about like a Dodge D800 dump truck?
Every one of your vehicles is enormous. Someone actually, for serious customers, I am giving tours for the facility because I think it's hard to describe a luxury parking garage to somebody, especially when it's in a state of construction. It's not,
Sure.
You don't get to see the finishes. But when I do take people there and I show them the engineering, they're like, I didn't really understand what it was you were doing here. And that's really cool. But this lovely woman came in, and she had inherited her father's 50-something Cadillac Convertible. I think it was a model 62. It was huge. And it was like 190-something, 223 inches long. So it has a Continental kit on it. It's so long. And she was like, can you store this? And it's actually too big for the racks. And so I would have to charge her like double. And she didn't really like that. And I was like, your car is the size of 2 cars. There's like nothing I could do. I can't even get it on the rack. So like it can't take up, like that's the defining one or more. So, but anyway, I'm doing a 5-part series. I shot the first part on Monday. I haven't edited it yet. We're getting to it. I am airing it. Which is basically just me walking around the building talking about different things. And the first episode is structure, so it's about concrete and steel.
You must have learned a lot during this process. Or did you already know about construction?
No. This is my first one, and I've learned like a crazy amount. Like I basically went to like graduate school for commercial real estate doing this. Like it's crazy, and there's so much to know. And now that I feel like a little more confident in what I know about the building, my new thing that I'm terrified of is actually running the business.
You're gonna be fine.
I probably will. I probably will. I'm a reasonably intelligent person, but like I'm actually scared of the paperwork.
You know what the trick is?
Hire somebody else to do it. Yeah. We're on that too. So we've got updates coming. I promise we're doing it.
C8 just fully leaked.
Oh, the C8 fully leaked? Let's go to the Twitter.
Let's go have a look. Thanks,
Fuck it,
Alan.
let's go have a look. Let's just go straight to the Twitter.
This is so much better. We would have been standing around in like some hot-ass hangar in like Irvine or whatever.
There it is. Imagine we drove there. What a bunch of suckers.
Sitting here in the air conditioning, drinking sweet coffee.
These are the pictures I saw last night. It's a very nice looking car, I have to say. It also, if you close your eyes, for those listening, if you close your eyes, if you haven't seen the pictures yet, and you picture a C7 Corvette where the cockpit has been moved forward and the trunk has been stretched out to fit an engine, that is exactly what they have built.
Yeah, it
looks like a Corvette.
Yeah, it's heavy, not necessarily badly, but it's heavy in the back end, bodywork wise. It's very wide.
The wing is not good. The wing is really, really weird looking. I'm waiting till I can see it in other colors, but I actually think it is a very attractive car. I have to give them credit.
It's a lot less radical looking than the GT.
Than the Ford GT?
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot less radical of a car. It's let me see who else. I don't want to just fucking show my Twitter feed. I'm sorry. It's a lot less radical of a car. I think the goal is that it's basically the same price as the new car, or as the current car. What are we looking at there? Oh, there's someone speculating. Gary Gastelum of Fox News speculating the golf bags will go here.
I do like an engine under a window, man.
Who doesn't? I love seeing an engine. That's the one of the things I don't like about the Lamborghini Spiders is that you lose the ability to see the engine because they hard cover it.
Did I tell you last time I was on here that I've been looking at Fiat X19s?
That sounds like perfectly you, and you should have one.
I know, it would look really cute with the Opal.
There's a guy doing Honda K20 swaps in them, and they're supposed to be fantastic.
I should see if he'd let me drive one.
I'm sure he would, especially because you're you. Like, even if you weren't you, he probably would to get you to buy one.
Fiat swap guy, hit me up.
All right, well, there's the leaked Corvette. Let's go back to the other pictures. Hey man, I ain't gonna be the last guy on the block to share it. Fuck that. And we're live. This isn't gonna be, except for a couple people. But I think it's a really nice looking car. Actually, I saw it in a different color. I saw it in orange, and I thought it looked really good. This wing is really, really green woody, and if you know about Corvettes, green woody is not really complimentary. But I don't know. What do you think?
It's fine. I guess I don't know why I was expecting it to look different than it did in camouflage, but for some reason I was expecting something that looked more radical.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably smarter this way.
This I think, despite it looking very exotic, which I think it does, it's also this is a mass consumer car.
Yeah.
This is the fucking Corvette.
Well, I mean, it's probably a lot. It's probably a lot smarter designed than like the Ford GT because it is a mass thing. But
it's got to have a trunk. The Ford GT has no trunk.
Yeah.
None. There's literally nothing. There's nowhere to put anything in a Ford GT.
Well, you got to keep all your air in there.
You can't imagine they tried to sell you a Corvette with no trunk. People would lose their fucking minds.
By the
There's
way,
assholes on the internet going, I'm never going to call this a Corvette. Forgot to have a front engine.
The last time I had a C7, Tom and I and Laura wanted to go to dinner, and Laura rode in the trunk area.
When I owned my Corvette,
Laura Tilley from McLaren is who we're talking about right now. She's a very nice small person who fits in a Corvette trunk.
I'm surprised she
Do not kidnap her.
I put people in the back of my Corvette before under the hatch. I definitely have. It's a thing that you do. That's like, there's a guy who comes to Cars and Coffee up in Malibu who's got a Z06 and he's got a dog bed in the head and his dog is fucking chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Cool.
I think we need to see the rear end. We really need to see. We need to touch it and really get close to it because it looks.
Always wanting to touch the rear end.
I always want to touch the rear end, right? And you know what? When you're famous, they let you. So I actually can't believe I just said that. I just turned something really disgusting into a joke about a car and. You know what?
All right, yeah.
Sorry.
We're doing okay. Everything's fine. Look at a Corvette.
But I think the rear end does look cheap, much cheaper than the front. Well,
the front looks really similar to just a Corvette.
Yeah, it's like you took a whole Corvette, but then just moved the whole.
Yeah, and gives it like a little bit of a Ferrari-ish look because of it being shorter and whatever. But
it really does. It actually, if you made a cut right at the back of the door before the scoop happens, it's awful 458, which I think is good.
Yeah,
it's like 458 with like a Corvette hood on it. It kind of is. It's nice.
Well, I mean, I've been very into Italian-American mashups recently, so I could go for that.
I'm kind of excited.
I can see that.
I bet it'll drive good. It's got to drive good.
It's got to.
It's got to drive good.
How would it not?
All the fast GM shit drives good. CTSV drives good. All the Corvettes drive good. Camaro drives fucking great. The powertrain guys and the chassis guys are great. The real question is, will it feel nice or will it feel cheap?
And also, is there any room in the passenger seat for somebody to have legs?
Is that an issue in typical mid-engine cars?
Just in the last C7, it was way more fun to be the driver than.
Oh, the C7 interior had less passenger room. I can't recall actually riding passenger
because
room.
of the way the transaxle or whatever, but not transaxle, like the way that everything ran down the center.
The all-wheel drive mid-engine cars have like no trunk. No front, because the front diff takes up all of it. That's why like the McLaren has like way more trunk room than like the Huracans and stuff. But I think overall they did a pretty nice job. It looks Corvette-y.
100% a Corvette, and thus looks nice.
It is a Corvette with an engine in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Meeting expectations, I think, is good.
So who's more smug about it, Motor Trend or Car and Driver? I mean, which one's going to claim they predicted it first?
Predicted it first like in 1977.
Yeah, exactly.
I did like Motor Trend's self-awareness where they said 9 times we've put a mid-engine Corvette on the cover. I think that's very funny.
That's good.
What else we have before we get out of here? Dingbat 221. Is that real? The 02 Buick Regal GS Joseph Abood edition? Is that real?
No one would make that up.
If that's real, oh my God, it is. The Joseph Abood. Here it is, and it.
Do you like the steering wheel?
Is it square?
No, it is not.
Oh wait, was that a YouTube video? What happened there? It is every bit a Buick.
I feel like the fact that it says repairablevehicles.com behind it is.
This is not an endorsement for. Here we go. Look, it has the same spoiler as the C8.
Ouch.
Joseph Abood. Yeah, that's really bad. Thank you for that. That's excellent. Rotor wants to know who will be the first to twin turbo the C8. I wouldn't be surprised if Hennessy,
Callaway.
Yeah, I guarantee you. What month is it? July. I guarantee you they've already had a SEMA measuring session at least once for this car. For those who don't know, a measuring session is when they invite tuners to come literally measure the car to make parts for SEMA so that when they send out the dollar cars, the parts fit.
And there are also folks who have relationships with the manufacturers who probably get a private measuring session as well.
And then they measure each other. Mint Society says my dad is about to buy an 06 Audi TT Auto with 55,000 miles. Is there anything we should worry about after buying? Everything, because it's an old Audi. So let's assume it's like one of the turbo engines, like the 1.8T. Hopefully a Quattro. You definitely want a Quattro if you can. Ideally, it has baseball glove stitching, but maybe not. Old Audis are not reliable cars. They have electronics issues sometimes. This, fortunately, is mostly a Golf underneath, which is better. I don't know. Get a PPI. Spend the $300 on a PPI. It's probably worthwhile. I don't know about anything specific with a TT. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't have any experience with an 06 Audi, but I mean the same things apply to any car that you buy that's used. Is check the fluids.
Yeah.
Check the fluids more often than you would normally check fluids because you want to make sure you look for leaks, pay attention to noises, weird smells.
First gen TTs are gonna.
Can you still check fluids in an 06? You can, right?
No, he said it's the V6. No, that's the 3.2. That thing sucks.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, that thing's not good. You don't want that. It's slow and front heavy.
Too late.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, nothing specific. Nothing that I know of. I'm sorry. I don't know much about used TTs. I think they're gonna age. I think they've aged well. The baseball glove interior ones are really cool. They are. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I mean, I know what a baseball glove interior is, but
no,
I haven't
but
seen
an Audi
TT.
T?
No.
Oh my God. The baseball stitching.
You're so hyper. You're like 20 letters ahead of yourself on all
That's
this typing.
because I'm trying to work fast.
All right, that's rad. You're right.
Isn't that sick?
Yeah,
that's factory joint. Although this is a RHD, and I really liked their shifter treatment with these rubber rings.
Yeah,
it was fucking cool.
That looks really cool.
TTs were dope. Look, here's the new TT interior. Doesn't have baseball glove, same kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's not a bad interior.
The TTRS I drove for drive was really, really cool. Oh, they call this baseball leather, but it's not stitched.
Yeah,
it needs to be
that's
baseball.
more like baseball glove. Like
baseball stitched is where it needs to be. Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming in.
Oh my God, thanks for having me, and thanks everyone for putting up with my like extra dumbness tonight.
What? Extra dumbness? You're great.
I was a little bit extra dumb.
You're a genius. Just don't let anyone tell you you're not a genius.
That's how we're gonna do it.
If they try and tell you you're not a genius, be like, no, I'm a genius.
Yeah,
you're good.
Yeah.
Do you want to promote anything besides your own the gram?
Well, I'll be very excited to see some new folks on the Instagram. So if you aren't following me, come on, join in.
She'll be, man.
It's very enthusiastic, very positive.
Do you get a little bump?
Yeah. Oh, every time.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Your people are very nice.
Nice.
I usually get a bump, a bunch of nice people, and then like one dickhead.
That's my new accounts. I'm just testing material.
And then I block that mofo. So that's great. And then I've got, I think, 2 stories in Hot Rod this month. I have a big story in Auto Week from, I think, last week or the week before. And
buy print.
Yeah, buy print. Click on things on the website. Oh, I have a newsletter.
Oh, it's right here. Challenge her. Right here. You can click it. It's in her bio on her Instagram. If I clicked it before and it takes you to like an email sign up.
Yeah.
Which we don't need to do right now.
No,
but
you don't.
go to her bio on the gram.
Anyway,
it's right there.
Yeah, it's a Substack newsletter. I don't send it out very often. I swear in it a lot. I would love to have you there.
Yeah, and you have to pay for her writing for other times sometimes. This is free.
This is super free. Because I am definitely the person you want to be your business manager.
I just started signing up for a couple of newsletters, actually.
I'm kind of into them.
Going back to the newsletter.
Yeah. Makes me feel like I have friends who are emailing me.
It's hard to sort it out on Twitter. It's easier if I get the newsletter from people I like directly.
Yeah.
My usual shit, follow me in the places you follow me. My Instagram, The Smoking Tire, WestsideCollectorCarStorage.com. Did I close the website? I think I did. WestsideCollectorCarStorage.com if you are interested in keeping your cars with me in Los Angeles. Next week, we've got Tristan Eaton on the show. He's an amazing artist. He turned my Mini into an art car in 2006, and it was incredible.
That sounds great.
Did you ever see it? It was. I'll show you a picture of it real quick. It's really crazy.
But I'm going to listen to that one.
This was really wild. This was it. So he did this in hand cut reflective vinyl. So this is how it looked during the day.
That's super cool.
And it was a gray car. So anywhere you see gray is the paint. And then he did these hand cut cloud things. It was very like comic booky, and then when you would shine headlights on it would turn into that.
That is so rad.
It was the most obnoxious thing you've ever seen. I can't believe I drove it around, frankly. It's really crazy that I drove it around, but I was so into the BMW art cars, and I had a Mini. And I was like, let me find an artist and make an art car. And he's like a really famous artist. He does huge billboards on the side. Not billboards, that's the wrong term. Giant murals on the side of buildings. Dude, his
you should have him do a helmet.
Oh my God, I can't afford him anymore. Less people knew him back then, but like he does stadiums. He does just massive. Look, this is his work here. On the side of a fucking building. That's his shit. He paints with cranes. Like he gets like scaffolding and cranes, and he paints massive projects on the side of stadiums and buildings and stuff. Look, here's him in New York City, Empire State. Boom. Look at that. Isn't that stunning?
It's got some sweet kicks too.
Yeah, so next week that's Tristan Eaton. He's going to be on the show. I haven't seen that since I followed him on Instagram, but since he did my car, I haven't seen him. That was 13 years ago. It's been since I've seen the guy.
Aww.
He rules.
This is going to be great. That's going to be a great episode.
He was already pretty famous then, but now he does gigantic building pieces, and so that's just really cool. And read my article, read the actual Million Mile Lexus piece, the 7-page piece in the September issue of Road and Track.
Yes, definitely do that.
I'm particularly proud of it, actually. It's a pretty good piece. I'm pretty stoked on it. That's a strong story. We gotta let this caffeine wear off, huh?
Yeah.
That's some shit, that cold brew.
I'm feeling it, and I only had a sip.
Be careful with the cold brew, kids. You have a fucking heart attack. All right, the Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a connection to the internet, a microphone, and ideally something to say. Good night, folks.